Based on feedback from a number of people and the concerns that they've expressed about the, the fact that the systems thinking certification program weaves together several different pieces of software into an environment where the learning curve is initially pretty steep in terms of getting familiar with the Kumu environment, which is what you're looking at the moment, and all of these additional pieces of software that one interacts with in working through this certification program. The, the idea was that because of the learning curve, because it's so steep, I should go ahead and spend some time and actually provide some assistance in migrating through that learning curve. And so what we've done is we've added a 13th segment to this program called program operation. And programs are always good to have a 13th segment. Why should it be any other? And the idea specifically is to spend some time and talk about the various components that are part of this certification program, in that it's a set of different utilities, Insight Maker, models developed in Insight Maker, and YouTube videos and webinars, and the subgroup on LinkedIn, and this thing called Digo that I'll talk about, and the calendar. And Kumu is this environment, web-based environment, that was designed to allow one to develop relationship maps. And it's composed of three simple kinds of things. It has elements, it has connections between the elements, and it has what they call loops. Now they call them loops as opposed to labels, because they use labels for something else. Loops because of the intent of using Kumu to develop causal loop diagrams. And if you're not familiar with them, you will be before too long. So there's only three elements, or three entities in the Kumu environment. The elements that represent, well, that are some amount of information about something, so that when you go to an element and you click on it, you find the profile of that element, and it's some text with links to various and sundry different things. And then the connections that identify some relationship between them, and while it's not being used specifically in the certification program, connections themselves can have profiles so that you can name them and have descriptions associated with the connections that explain the relationship between the elements that they're connecting. And the program operation, which the loop name that we're using simply as a label to identify a collection of elements and connections that go together, so that this whole set of things I'm referring to as the program operation group, and it's a segment in the certification program. One uses, now, hopefully before you got to this video, you watched the Navigating the Environment video, which is, if you haven't watched it, it's highly recommended, because it gives you a sense of how to navigate in this environment. The reason that Kumu was chosen over other things, over some mind mapping software, is simply because it provides a very fluid, flexible environment that is absolutely not hierarchical. You can develop a hierarchical diagram with it if you so choose, though it doesn't have to be. You don't start at a point, well, yes, you have to start at some point, though it isn't dictated that you go out from that point. You can start points multiple points that aren't connected and connect them in whatever manner appears meaningful to define a set of relationships that are relevant to whatever it is that you're talking about. And then within the context of the element itself, the number of things that you can sort of integrate together in this environment makes it very useful, so that this is the profile page for the entire certification program itself. It was easy to integrate videos into this environment, to integrate the calendar, which talks about or provides a different perspective on when all of the webinar sessions are, the Digo library that's used to maintain all of the links and notes associated with this program, and just to sort of weave all of these pieces together in a very fluid manner and present it on the web. It's developed on the web, and it allows the environment to be readily evolved based upon feedback, which is pretty evident in that it was just 2 days ago, I think, the comment came in about the first time about the difficulty associated with the learning curve and all of these various and sundry pieces that one has to become familiar with to work their way through this program. So this particular video is going to end up on this Kumu environment element. I've already got a link for it here, but it doesn't go anyplace at the moment because I haven't finished the video. And I will go ahead and do videos associated with all of the other components, sort of giving a sense of what they are and why they're here. And hopefully that helps overcoming the learning curve associated with the certification program. And I've gone ahead and scheduled a couple of web sessions on Monday. I realize it's not far away, but I'm sort of playing catch up here. And now that the program is actually a recurring program, we'll schedule web sessions as it appears appropriate to provide the interactions necessary to support people working their way through the program. So I hope this has been helpful in terms of understanding Kumu and why it's here and how it's being used to sort of create the relationship between all of the components that are part of the Systems Thinking Certification Program. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.